This third semester for MBA students are pursuing this course in HR, core to my areas. So I'm happy to start now. The different concept of the strategic management and overview, introduction and concept, and levels of strategy and benefits of strategy and conceptual framework and how to formation of the strategy formation and various risks which is involved in strategic management, and finally corporate governance and corporate social responsibilities. These are the major areas that we are going to cover in this chapter. So let me start from the first topic, right? First, we should understand about general overview about strategic management. Strategic management is a continuous and ongoing process of analyzing internal and external environments, formulating strategy, implementing plans, and evaluating performance to achieve organizations' long-term goals and gain a competitive advantage. So it involves making big picture decisions, allocating resources effectively, and adapting to changes in the business landscape to ensure sustained success. This comprehensive approach applies to businesses of all sizes and industries, guiding their direction and helping them stay ahead of competitors. It's all about overview of a strategic management. So move on to the next, a strategic and process. First, let us understand what is strategy. The concept of strategy refers to the overall plan of an organization, the entire plan of the company, an approach that an individual, organization, or group that adapts to achieve a specific long-term goals, making the best use of available resources while responding to environmental challenges and opportunities. Organization concerned is that how best use of available resources in an organization. See how organizations are utilized to maximum resources that can create an efficiency and effective use. A comprehensive plan that integrates an organization's major goals, policies, and actions into cohesive goal. So all is about the strategy and process. Let's moving to the next. Before that, I just wanted to ensure that the word the strategy means like the plan of action, how to execute or further process in organizations, right? Then the next the topic we are going to discuss about the strategic management process. The process which involves the four major categories. Number one, environmental scanning. What is all about the environmental scanning? First, organization to identify what are the strength and weakness. So, by environmental scanning, by using this SWOT analysis, can help organizations identify the current context. So analyzing the internal strength, what are all their internal strength? Say, for example, technology, for example, manpower resource, machineries, infrastructure, and other supportive services. Yeah. But once the organization identify the strength, they can go for a weakness, right? And external opportunities and threats, often by using a SWOT analysis to understand the current context. Strategy formulation. As per the strategy formulation is concerned to develop clear strategies and setting objectives aligned with the company mission and vision. See, based on the vision statement can also be a continue process to take place. The organization's is the vision statement is a long-term achievement, a future-oriented now. When the mission is concerned is that to the short-term achieving for the organizational goals. The strategy implementation, how to implement the strategy in organizations, putting chosen strategy into action through effective execution across different functional areas of the organization. When talk about like performance evaluation, continuously monitoring, analyzing, and assessing the performance of the implemented strategies to make necessary adjustments. But this process will take place like a regular monitoring and stay and progress and be on track to individual assessing individual performance and group performance that will enhance the strategy and the necessary adjustments. So it is a regular activities to identify, analyzing and monitoring and tracking progress for an employee performance. So only it can be continue for a success, right? These are all about the strategic management process. Moving forward, the next one is that what is strategic management, right? What is strategic management? A strategic management is an art and science of formulating, implementing, and evaluating cross-functional decisions that enable the organization to achieve its objective. Yeah, the strategic management is concerned like it's an art and science. It's a both. Sometimes it is required for the art and science implementing evaluation cross-functional decisions. Generally, we can say strategic management is not only related to single specialization, but it covers the multiple functional and overall organization. Multiple functional and overall organization. Let us continue about the levels of strategy. What are all the levels of strategy? There are four major levels of strategies, which includes number one, corporate strategy, business strategy, functional strategy, and operational strategy. When we are talking about the corporate strategy is concerned, determines the overall scope of the organization and which businesses to be in overall direction, which business is to be overall in direction. See, as part of strategic management, which involve various essential organization to achieve their goals and stay competitive in a rapidly changing business environment. As we discussed about the business strategy, like environmental analysis, strategy formulation, strategy implementation, and strategy evaluation. The business strategy is concerned is that focus on how each business unit will compete within its specific market, how a business unit competes in its market. Yes. So this business strategy can help the organizations to compete in a specific market. Then functional strategy. Yeah, specific strategies for departments like HR, human resource, marketing, operations, and etc. It deals with the specific strategies for different functional areas of the organization. So all functional areas of the organization which will ensure that the strategy can be able to involve. Then operational strategy. An operational strategies is focusing on a specific actions and process needed to implement the functional strategy. These are all about the levels of strategy. The next part is that what are the nature and characteristics of strategic management? It provides structure. It provides a structure. It is integrated approach. It is interconnected activities of an organization. It can be linking, connecting of all the nature of strategy. It is relates an organization within the environment. It relates to an organization within environment. It also set up actions to for the plan of actions and what is going to be done and what are the future oriented. So here, what is going to be done in the future? So the combination of internal and external factors is system oriented. It involves contradictory actions and etc. So these are all the general nature and characteristics of strategic management. In continuations are few of the points as to be consideration about strategic. It is goal oriented. It is always highly focusing on the goal, the future oriented. The strategy must have a clearly defined objectives that the organizations aim to achieve. A strategy must have clearly defined, yeah. It is always to goal oriented and future oriented, how to achieve the specific objectives for an organization, right? And then the long term focus. The strategies are designed with a long term perspective, considering the future direction of the organization and its competitive positions and its competitive position. See, let's discuss about what are the future directions. Because you're always the strategy can able to execute in the future. So, how it is going to achieve it in the near future? Okay, adaptability. The adaptability is concerned is that for strategic management enables organizations to adapt to changing environments. But the business environment is constantly changing because it is required. Sometimes maybe there is a changes is take place. So a successful strategy must be adaptable and flexible. Successful strategy must be adaptable and flexible. Then fourth one is unique approach. Unique approach. What is all about the unique approach? The unique approach is the good strategy provides a unique approach that differentiate the organization from its competitor. So it should be some unique in nature. The special characteristics of your products, like when organizations are delivering the goods and services and certain uh, unique in nature, in characteristics, in special considerations. Only then organization can be able to compare with other competitors. So what are the strengths? What are the special features? What are the unique nature in the particular product? So this will always to make some differentiate about in terms of product, in terms of quality, or in terms of service, or in terms of customer satisfaction, something like that, right? Resource allocation. How to allocate the resources? See, when organizations trying to utilize the effective resource and crucial implementing a strategy, this involves identifying, utilizing the organization's resources like financial, human resource, and technological. Yeah, whatever the resources are available, they can utilize maximum as much as maximum. So these are all the resources of allocations. Understand? A competitive advantage. A competitive advantage, a core aspect of strategy is developing and maintaining a competitive advantage over rivals. Yeah, always the competitions are there. When there is a huge competition, how to overcome and how to face the competitions in the market. So this strategy can help the organization to achieve their goals. The seventh point, a decision making focus. A decision making focus strategic decisions are crucial for determining overall direction and actions of the organization. Yeah, it is always to decision making in terms of the product, decision makings in terms of employees, performance, and overall decision taken by the management. Okay, so in such method can adapt for the decision making focus. The teamwork and collaboration. Implementing a strategy effectively often requires a teamwork and collaboration across different levels and departments within the organization. So organization is concerned that there is need for a teamwork, a team spirit, a group activities. So team building will always become success. So they must have a coordinate and cooperate among the employees. So the teamwork will always to make a success one. So that they will have to ensure and educate the employees to work together to get the optimum result. Right. So that is why the teamwork and the collaborations will be important part of the organization. So these things are very important factors which has to be considered. Then moving to the what are the benefits? What are the major benefits of organization? There are lots of benefits are considered. The mainly for the benefits of strategic management increase in rate of the return on investment. Yeah. The first thing is that based on the capital, based on the investment, what about the returns? Where there is a marginal return, average return, or highest return. So if there is a returns are definitely to continue for the future business growth, right? So that is very important. And then reduction in cost of capital. Investing money is one of the main sources to grow the business, but at the same time, see they have ensure that to minimizing the cost and maximizing the profit. Okay, this strategy can be applicable for all industry due to the competitive world. See, the main idea is that to increase profitability, when properly applicable in strategy, that definitely there is a chance to increase your profit of the business. There is no doubts, right? Reduction in fixed and flexible expenses. Encouraging, motivating to group activity. Yeah, because always the organization wants to work together. So they will get immediate feedback and they can also to produce a highest amount of result and productivities and output. So organization wants to maintain a group activity. This is one of the advantage. Increase in the efficiency of the employee. Certainly, no doubt it will always in strategic management and apply proper manner and automatically this will increase efficiency of the employees. In such a way, how organizations are going forward to movement of the employees. Alertness in employees. Alertness in employees. Okay, they will give a cautions to an employee to always to keep focus and be on track for their progress and their performance. And based on the task given by every individual, they will have to achieve on time and specific time period. So they have to be complete for all their tasks within this stipulated time according to the companies are given in order to ensure prevention of overlapping of work, prevention of organizational gap. Yeah, there is always a gap between the top management and the lower people. So there should be the bridging the gap between the top management as well as to the lower management. They can keep connect between these among all the employees of the organization. Acceptance of organizational changes. Yeah, of course, definitely when there is need for any changes in terms of technology while introducing something new to the environment, it has to accept that because of current global expected. So for that, also one of the major advantage in the strategic management. Moving to next, the strategy formation process. Strategy formation process. When we talk about the strategy formation process, the strategy formation process in strategic management is a structured approach to defining a path for an organization's future success. It involves analyzing the current situation. What is the current situation about? What is the trends? And what about the present situation is going on? What is all about? So they can able to identify and understand the current market situations and setting goals. So design the designing a specific goals, developing and evaluating a strategy. Okay, based on the requirement and based on the needful strategies can be evaluated. And finally, implementing and monitoring the chosen path. Okay, this is the way how formation of process. Then the strategy formulation is the process of using available knowledge to document the intended direction of a business and the actionable steps to reach its goals. This process is used for resource allocation, prioritization, organization wide alignment, and validation of business goals. See, the process definitely will arrange for the resource allocations wherever necessary, wherever required in an organization, and give first priority to allocations for an alignment with that, and that validations of business goals. Moving to the next part, a strategy formation process, which considering three major parts like vision, mission, and objectives. Let's discuss about all these three. In strategic management, the vision, mission, goals, and objectives are the interrelated elements. It is interconnected parts of every organization that provide a roadmap for an organization's future. So take for example, in vision is concerned that it is a future oriented. It is a long term process, a long term goal. So what they want to become in the future. So for that vision may achieve in the future. The mission is concerned about like a short-term achievement, a desirable short-term achievement. So what is the next? What is to be done further and immediate achievements? The goals are specific and measurable and achievable, and objectives are to define what, to examine what exactly. But all those things can be considered about the and help the organization for the roadmap. Vision is an inspirational view of the future. A mission defines organizational purpose, goals, or broad targets, and objectives are specific, measurable steps to achieve those goals. When we are talking about the mission, vision, aims, goals, and objectives, the mission is concerned. that the overall purpose of the business, vision, the overall aspiration of the business, aims or goals in general statement of what business intends to achieve, objective, more precise and detailed statements of the aims and goals. Let us have a conceptual framework for strategic management. See, have a look at it about the strategic management framework. When we are going for this, first let us where we are. So where are we going? How are we going there? And how are we doing? So these are the major things we need to keep it in our mind. So when we start on the strategic framework, conceptual framework, first the situational appraisal, situational assessment. These two things are interconnected, like situation assessment, for example, SWOT analysis. By using SWOT analysis, already we had identified what are the strengths, what are our weakness, threats, and opportunity. Okay, then situations appraisal, a review on corporate objectives. It is make it like clarification of objectives. What is exactly our objectives? What is our stated? Okay, so it should be make as a clarity. Only then they can able to proceed for further steps. Corporate strategy. So where are we going? Yeah. Then competitive strategy, strategic decisions, and based on the decisions, we try to implement for all the process. Monitoring process. It is a regular tracking progress. We keep always to maintain a regular progress and maintaining a performance progress. Situational appraisal, a review of corporate objectives. Review of corporate objectives. Okay. Moving to the next, risk of strategic management. When we talk about, there are lots of risk which is involved. First one is strategic risk. Yeah, we'll talk about like strategic risk is made it difficult for the business to achieve its long or short term objectives on time. We certainly understand that this type of risk affects the business in the long run and causes a disinterest of the customer in the product. Yeah, the strategic risk, which is following the changes in technology. But due to advancement of technology and the strategic risk will be formulated always because organizations are introducing the new technology. The technology is also one of the major risk. So they can't able to cope up with the environment. The changes in competitor strategy because the competitors are increasing day by day due to the global competition, local competitions, right? So this also one of the strategic risk is considering, right? Legal changes. Time to time, the government has also changing the new policy and providing rules and regulation and new terms in such a way how this risk will be faced. So for certainly, this is also one of the major risks which is involved in strategic, right? Change in preferences and demand of the customer. Customer expectations are day by day are changing. So based on the customer demand, customer expectations, we need to fulfill their requirements based on their need, based on their wants, and we need to satisfy with them in terms of products and services, etc. This is the way how organizations are going forward. Then compliance risk. This type of risk occurs when you fail to comply with any rules or regulations of government policies. Yeah. So there are sometimes maybe organizations have not followed the proper manner. The policies are given by the appropriate government. The certain rules So those policies, if you are able to follow, then there will be no risk. If they are not, if you are failed to comply with any rules and regulations of government policies, and definitely there will be a complaints risk. So there is a corruption in the company. Corruption, right? Some, like misappropriations or certain corruptions will be taking place, right? Discrimination and harassment are conducted in the workplace. See, as far as the discrimination is concerned, is that one of the major key issues of every organization. It is an unethical practices, like it is a illegal way how organizations are not entertained. They should not entertain. They should avoid such things because discrimination is not the unethical. See, the discrimination in the sense, irrespective of race, irrespective of religion, irrespective of caste, community, age, gender, experience, qualifications, skills, and etc. So this could be avoided in the workplace if there is a discriminate between someone in terms of even color, gender issues, yeah, women harassment, and those things can be avoided. So this is also one of the complaints raised for the strategy. There are no provisions for the health and safety of the workers. There are no provisions for the health and safety of the workers. There are no provision for environmental safety. Environmental safety. Organization wants to provide to keep ensure that the safety, health and safety measures to be provided to all employees to protect and safeguard of their employees. Even the environmental safety within the organizations, when they are work the difficult situations, like they should provide like a lot of facilities, lot of safety measures to be done. So this is also considered as compliance risk. To avoid this type of risk, you should maintain a positive, enthusiastic, clean, and friendly environment within and outside of the organization. To avoid those type of risks, the organization should be maintain a clean and friendly environment, both internal and external of the organization. So only then we can eliminate for such risk. Okay, moving forward, the next one, financial risk. So, needless to say, as far as the financial risk is concerned, that organization should maintain a sufficient fund and cash flow must be properly monitored. When organizations are economically weak, if there is a debt or some the problems are happened, the organization not making a salary and payment to all the transaction incurred in a business. So this will totally affected to the business environment. So that the organization should be maintain a sufficient fund at any time. They can able to maintain a balanced cash flow and fund to be available. So it is the most common type of risk that occurs in the business. It is a situations when the company fails to meet its financial need and is unable to grow. In most situations, it occurs when the company is not earning sufficient profit to meet its expenses and repayment obligations. But to avoid this type of risk, the company should always make a financial plan for proper allocations or utilization of funds. So that organization should have a advanced planning to maintain a proper fund allocations to each departments based on their requirements. So it should maintain an emergency fund. They can also to keep ready to maintain emergency fund or opt for retaining earnings to meet emergency situations. So those things will be definitely to be considered for the financial risk. Then have a look at it. These are all the operational risk for the management in terms of various activities which is going to be considered, right? And operational risk is, when you talk about the operational risk is concerned, there are a few important points to be considered. Those risks that causes in the operations of your business. During this risk, you cannot operate, function, or perform any activity related to your business. The main causes due to which this risk arises are natural disaster. See, when there is a natural calamity, so due to some disruption, definitely this can be disruption of the business, like a heavy rainfall. Sometimes maybe it may happen the disruption of business activity. So this will consider as an operational risk. When organizations are facing the huge operational risk, the total entire process can be stopped. Yeah, even this operational chain systems and materials supplying, delivering, due to the natural calamity like heavy rain or cyclone or any other factors which is affecting. Yeah, theft. Sometimes it happens. Default in technology, changes in law, regulation, or policies. These types of risk cannot be eliminated or predicted, but the loss that occur from this can be minimized by covering insurance claim. Insurance claim. For the loss that occurred or maintaining a fund to meet the unforeseen events. Unforeseen events. So sometimes, for example, if the factory or the business or whatever it is suddenly is getting fire, see completely all the business are spoiled. So that situations they can claim these insurance. So in certain amount of money, if they have registered for insurance, they are paying that. Definitely they will be getting. So this all happens during the workplace in organizations. So this also will be considered. Reputational risk. As the name suggests, it is the risk that is caused due to any harm to the reputation of the business. In this type of risk, the company's goodwill fall down and public image of the business is ruined. Yeah, of course, we know that. Sometimes maybe the company's reputation or goodwill, fame, status may fall down due to, for example, like non-performance of the products, non-performance of the products. The products are not accepted in the markets. The customers are not satisfied. The customers are not satisfied while consuming the products. So these are all the general reasons about how the reputational may affect. This type of risk occur when there is a breach of data. What is all about the breach of data? The breach of data, like sometimes maybe the confidential informations are disclosed or stolen of the confidential data. It can happen so sometimes, right? And a breach security incident where private and confidential information is stolen, accessed, or a third party have been stolen and disclosed without the right person authorization. The product or services are defective or lack of trust. Yeah. So these things are also considered a reputational risk. There are negative social media posts and advertisement is done. That is very, very important that sometimes maybe for the wrong message is given. Sometimes social medias are spreading the rumor information relating to their quality, products, price, service, and etc. And wrong advertisement is also one of the major reasons to be happen for reputational risk, right? While avoid this type of risk, the business should manage its affair carefully and cautiously. It should ensure that any activities and harms its reputation should be avoided. So those risks can be considered as a reputational risk. Okay, so organization wants to maintain yeah, yeah, a status at any point of time. Then only the organization value system can be continued for a longer period of time. Competitive risk. Definitely, there will be some of the competitions, or always will be there in a business. Every business has to compete with its competitor in order to survive and grow. But when the competitor performs better than you, your customers are spending towards the competitor's product and you're unable to compete with it. It is called competitive risk. In this type of risk, a competitor not only targets your customer but also slow down of your growth. Yeah. When we talk about like internal stakeholder and external stakeholder, overall the internal stakeholders is consider employees, manager, and owners. When it comes for external stakeholders like suppliers, society, government, creditors, shareholders, customers, investors, general public, and etc. So hope you understand for all the internal stakeholder and for all the external stakeholders of the business. Moving strategic business unit. The strategic business unit, semi-autonomous unit within a larger organization that operates like separate business with its own mission, goals, resources, and a focus on a specific product line and market segment. Strategic business unit are profit center that create their own marketing plans and strategies to compete in their market, but are ultimately accountable to the corporate headquarters. So some of the examples are given. Strategic business units include distinct product categories at Procter and Gamble. Example, grooming, healthcare. The various business divisions within Samsung, example, consumer electronics, IT, and mobile communications. The regional operationals of global companies like Coca-Cola. These are major examples about the strategic business unit. They are having some different marketing segments. All right. Moving to this last, like corporate governance and social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility and corporate governance is the internal system of rules and practice that control your company's operation. Mainly focus on transparency, accountability, and ethical behavior to benefit shareholders and stakeholders. We talk about like a corporate social responsibility, shortly known as CSR. It is a company's outward facing commitment to ethical and social environmental practices that go beyond legal requirements, aiming to create a positive impact on communities and the broader society. Though distinct good governance is essential for effective CSR, as strong governance provides the framework for ethical decision making and the implementation of responsible initiatives. So the companies wants to go to concentrate on various corporate social responsibility in a different key responsibilities like environmental, ethical, philanthropic, and social. So these are the major way how organizations are involved in corporate social responsibility towards to contribute something to welfare of the society as well. So far, it is this first unit to cover various important key topics which has been covered in this area. Thanks for the understanding. And this is a very important that we have been discussing. Thanks a lot.